I see a lot of people completely clueless in this game, which is okay because I was as well at the very start, but after some time I do have some stuff to share with you guys that you should definitely know about. Because this game has more depth to it than you might realize. You guys really enjoyed my previous tips and tricks video and we're gonna do the same thing here. Some beginner tips and some advanced tips. Let's start with before you even drop into the game. The class you pick matters more than you think. Of course, each class has a signature weapon and gadgets, but what a lot of people don't know, including myself until a couple minutes ago, is that the career path for each class is different in RedSec compared to the base game. And these career paths can be very powerful if you actually pay attention to them and use them correctly. So let's take a look. For the assault class we have the assault ladder and the grenade launcher as the main gadgets, but specifically for Battle Royale as the assault class you can redeploy your teammates from a redeploy tower faster than any other class. So that's something unique already. As for the career path, the first upgrade lets you equip armor plates 33% faster, and honestly for that alone I might just start using the assault class more because the replating armor animation takes an eternity in this game. The second upgrade lets you carry 5 grenades for your grenade launcher, which is okay, but paired with the third upgrade, cluster munitions, it can be pretty crazy. Cluster munitions will let the grenade from the grenade launcher explode into 5 other grenades. Kinda like a scatter grenade, so if you shoot that in quick succession with the 5 grenades you have in reserve, that's a lot of explosions. The fourth upgrade is for every class the same, 10% increase in gadget resupply rate and will reset when you die. There is also another universal trait, which is called Termite Sabotage. This will let you plant a termite bomb on enemy tanks when in close range, and that will eventually force out the occupants. So that's pretty decent for assault. For engineer you get a repair tool and a launcher, and the first upgrade is for your rocket launcher. When you first drop in, it's just a regular anti-tank launcher, but when upgraded it changes into the aim-guided launcher with a scope. Upgrade 2 is damaging enemy vehicles reduces their repair effectiveness, and upgrade 3 gives you a mobility hit bonus on enemy vehicles for 8 seconds when hit with the aim-guided rocket. So very powerful against enemy tanks. The support class has obviously the supply bag for ammo and health. Note that unlike the base game you cannot resupply your gadget with the supply bag because otherwise that would have been way too overpowered. And you also get a smoke launcher, which is very useful, especially when upgraded in the career path. Upgrade 1 lets you carry 2 extra plates, nothing too special. Upgrade 2 lets you drag and revive teammates 2.5 seconds faster and lets you drag them faster, so that can be pretty clutch, and especially paired with upgrade 3, which enhances your smoke launcher. So the smoke of the smoke launcher will let you revive down teammates again 2.2 seconds faster, and I don't know if this stacks with upgrade 2, but it does work for all squad mates. So if someone is down, be sure to smoke them with your smoke launcher as a support player for a faster revive, and it also slows the bleed out rate for down players. And on top of that, you have better health regen inside the smoke after 2.5 seconds. So support is great for, well, support. Oh, and in case you didn't know, the way you progress up these career paths is just by simply getting XP. And doing pretty much anything in this game will give you XP, from killing enemies to opening up loot boxes, and finding intel especially will give you a lot of XP. Now, before we continue, I want to tell you guys about War Thunder, today's video sponsor. The most comprehensive vehicle combat multiplayer game ever, and it's completely free to play on PC, consoles, and even mobile. Take control of over 2,500 tanks, planes, helicopters, and ships from 10 different nations, ranging from World War I prototypes to modern high-tech war machines, and all fully customizable to your liking, which is definitely my favorite part of this game. Every vehicle is modeled down to individual realistic components, and when something is damaged, the X-ray view shows exactly how it went down. You can now even play on the go with War Thunder Mobile, featuring the same full-scale ground, air and sea battles, smooth controls and stunning graphics, available on iOS and Android. So be sure to join the over 95 million players in War Thunder on PC, PlayStation, Xbox and mobile for free with the links in the description or in the pinned comment. New players or anyone who hasn't played in the last 6 months on PC or console will get a huge bonus pack when signing up. This includes multiple premium vehicles, the exclusive Eagle of Valor decorator, 100,000 silver lions and 7 days of premium account time. It's only available for a limited time only, so be sure to check it out, and a big thanks to War Thunder for sponsoring this video. Now let's continue. And lastly, we're gonna take a look at the Recon class. The Recon comes with both a motion sensor and the Recon drone. Both are, in my opinion, some of the best gadgets in the whole game. So upgrade 1 1 already lets you drop bombs from the Recon drone. I'm not sure about the damage, I don't think there is a one-hit kill potential, unless maybe with a direct hit. I haven't tested that yet. In case you don't know what it looks like, it's the same thing as from the campaign in one of the final missions. Very easy to use, but like I said, I don't know about the damage potential. And now we arrive at upgrade 2, probably the most overpowered upgrade in this game, especially in close quarters. It's wall hacks. Legit wall hacks. If you down an enemy player, you will see their teammates through the wall live for 5 seconds within a 25-meter radius, which, as you can see by the clip in the background, is pretty insane. And upgrade 3 lets you detonate the drone itself, and that will also do a lot of damage, I guess. Again, I don't know how much damage, but I will try to figure that out soon. So be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and drop a like for the algorithm. I quickly just want to say a big thanks to 800,000 subscribers we hit recently. Next up is 900,000, and at 1 million subscribers, we'll do a face reveal. Maybe that will even happen during the Battlefield 6 life cycle. So anyway, thanks for that. I do recommend every new player to pick the Recon class, because it just gives so much more information than any other class, and whether you're playing quads or duos, you definitely need at least one Recon player in your team. And here is another useful Recon tip: the motion sensor will not last forever, it will eventually despawn, so before that happens, be sure to pick it up. That way you instantly replenish it in your inventory, so drop it on the floor, use it, you know, in case there are enemies or whatever, and then pick it back up before moving on. However, the same trick doesn't work for the Recon drone. And speaking of which, don't be afraid to use it. You can hop in and out of it very quickly, and once in the air it will passively spot enemies within its line of sight. It is also great to scan your surroundings when you are bringing a teammate back with the redeploy tower. Especially in duos, you are very vulnerable because everybody in the vicinity will hear and see on screen pretty much exactly where you are. So this is a great way to see what's coming for you. And when you see people, don't forget to spot. Like I said in my previous video, still not a lot of people are doing this, the double spot function is insanely powerful, and sometimes, I don't know why, you can even see people through walls and stuff. Not sure how that works yet, but either way, be sure to spot the enemies. Remember, the double spot function lasts way longer than the normal spot. Another starter tip is to pick the revolver pistol, if you have that unlocked. All other pistols are extremely useless in this game, but with the revolver you can definitely hold your own, especially at the start. And here is another tip you might not know about. If you down an enemy, don't finish them off with your weapon. If you have the opportunity at least, be sure to do a melee animation attack, because that too will highlight your teammates on your minimap and on screen. It can be very powerful. Now let's quickly talk about missions, something you do mid-game. Unlike Warzone, you can start missions directly without needing to pick up a contract or something like that. Now keep an eye out on the rewards. The missions themselves are very lackluster in my opinion, nothing special about that, but the rewards can be pretty insane. You have everything from airstrikes and mortar strikes to UAVs, vehicle drops, ammo drops, weapon drops, and much more. So let's talk about those for a bit. Probably the most powerful reward in the game is a vehicle vault key, which you can use to open up some sort of trailer or whatever, and within that trailer you can find either a main battle tank or an IFV. Both are insanely powerful in the right hands, especially if you coordinate with your gunner. Ammo can be pretty scarce, but you can resupply it when going near the resupply stations, and that will also repair your tank as well. In fact, I'm pretty sure you can go to these resupply stations right off the bat and get more ammo than you spawn with. So that's good to know, because these tanks can be a pain in the ass, and that's why I want to talk about the second most powerful class in the game, the Engineer. Now, I already talked about the Recon class being extremely powerful, and the next class I would recommend is the Engineer class. Obviously to repair friendly vehicles, which makes the tanks even more powerful, but the repair tool also allows you to open up safes that are scattered around the map. Inside is usually powerful loot, especially for early game, and it also is the only class that can carry 2 rocket launchers, because you already have your own guided launcher as a class specific gadget, so you can definitely solo an enemy tank as an Engineer, at least if your positioning is decent. And it's not hard to find anti-armor gadgets as an Engineer, because with many crates you will find loot that is often specific for your class. So if you open up the orange crate as an Engineer, you will most likely find some sort of explosive. You can also usually find a weapon to your specific class, so sniper rifles for the Recon class and SMGs for the Engineer class, as well as an upgrade kit for that same kind of weapon. Most of the time, at least in my experience, so keep that in mind. If you want a sniper rifle in early game, dropping in as a Recon player will definitely help you find a sniper rifle and the upgrade kits within some of the crates. Here is another tip: when upgrading your gun, look at the upgrades and downgrades before choosing. Don't just look at the name of the upgrade. Sometimes it says better range or better capacity, But sometimes that is not the case at all, and sometimes you choose an upgrade path, but it will actually decrease your ammo capacity, for example. You can upgrade a weapon until it has a purple rarity or level, I guess, and there are golden guns in the game, but they can only be found in special crates you get from doing specific missions. And speaking of loot, I see a lot of people complain about the amount of loot available in the map, but there is more loot to be found than you realize. Crates are definitely not the only place to look. You can find a bunch of loot in the back of a lot of different cars, in the vans and trucks, for example. In the ambulance, for example, you often find health related items. Even in the police trucks, I believe you can find specific loot, so be sure to check the cars as well. Now the best loot is obviously your own custom made weapons. You can get them via the custom weapon loadout drop. You can get that reward in two ways, either as a mission reward or it will drop eventually after some time in the map. This is more risky because there are less custom loadout drops that will spawn than the amount of squads still alive in the game. So there is a higher chance of running into enemies. Now before you can actually pick your weapons, you have to add them as favorites, otherwise they won't show up. So be sure to do that before going into a game. Now let's take a look at some of the other rewards you can get, such as the call-ins. You have the airstrike, artillery and the UAV, I believe. Let's start with the UAVs. These things first looked kinda useless to me because every time I used them I didn't see anyone on my minimap until I actually opened up my big map. They are extremely powerful. The radius is much larger than I initially thought, so use the UAV in an area where you can potentially cover multiple POIs. But beware, the UAVs are visible in the sky, so it technically can also give away your position a little bit. So if you see a UAV in the sky and you didn't use one, you best believe there are enemies nearby. The airstrike and artillery are pretty self-explanatory. The airstrike takes about 10 to 12 seconds from the moment you mark your target until impact, so that's good to know if you want to predict enemy movement. And for the artillery strike, it's 5 seconds until the first impact, but obviously it lasts for a much longer time and it has a larger area of effect. Also, with an airstrike or mortar strike, you cannot do team damage, so a good tactic can be to place an airstrike or mortar strike on the enemy's location, and then usually they have to move, leaving them exposed. So if your teammate or teammates are nearby and can pick them off inside the airstrike or mortar strike zone, they won't take any damage and it's very easy to finish them off because the enemy usually doesn't run away and fight at the same time, and they only have like 10 seconds to do so anyway, so it could be a very powerful tool. So yeah, the call-ins are definitely powerful, but for me the most powerful aspect of it is the thermal binoculars you get when calling it in. This thing is extremely handy to spot enemies even from very long range. I'm pretty sure the thermal signature from enemy infantry is close to infinite or something, because you can spot them from a very long range. So I usually just keep the call-ins just so that I can use the thermal binoculars, and you can see in the background a couple of instances where it actually allowed me to spot enemies far in advance and get the drop on them. Now let's do a couple of more quick fire tips. Like I said in my previous tips and tricks video, don't sleep on the heavy machine guns. In this case, the gunner seats for the cars are extremely powerful. Same goes for the support chopper and the minigun. You do get low ammo, but you can repair and resupply at the resupply point like I said earlier. Even a fully plated enemy goes down very quickly when using these weapons. Another tip is to always try to get into an elevated position. That's what I always do. It gives you a better view of the environment, which lets you see certain routes and angles that you can take if a firefight were to happen, and you can usually get a drop on people. Now on the other side of the spectrum, when in close quarters, don't be scared to run away and hide. It can sometimes be very difficult to follow people that run away like maniacs, and when they are in pursuit and you are waiting for them, you can sometimes ambush them instead. You can hear where they are by the footstep audio, so in a 2v1 situation you can very easily make it a 1v1 situation. And lastly, remember, even though this might look like Warzone, it's still a battlefield game, and that means destruction. If you have explosives or a sledgehammer, don't be afraid to create new entryways to surprise your enemies, or to crush them underneath the rubble, or even to create an escape for yourself. If the enemies are inside a building, there's a good chance you can just take away their cover. And that's about it for the video, guys. Some tips or secrets, however you want to call it, for the Battlefield 6 Battle Royale RedSec. RedSec, amazing. Again, big thanks to War Thunder for sponsoring this video. Don't forget to sign up and play for free on PC, console and mobile by using my links down below. New and returning players will also receive a massive bonus pack, but it's available for limited time only, so be sure to check it out. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please drop a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and with that being said, I see you guys next time.